Yeah. Definitely have to try bales up this weekend. So maybe later today.
We got every color, every size, every shape. We're going to weigh them and figure out what they all weigh. So we're going to start here momentarily. So gather around, get ready for a fun day.
Trying to hold the chair down.
I'm trying to think of. The GoPro's over there. I don't know how often I have to replace
Put your drone up in the sky and get a picture of the crowd.
Is there something I can climb on to get
No,
a?
you're not climbing it.
Mom, what are you getting? When I say all day,
That ought to do it. Better than not there.
I'll buy you that. Huh? What do you think?
Mira, vimos antes que
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I was debating on that. I did a D-ring at double strap. I got 3/4. 60 years.
I just used strap.
Yep.
3/4, 7/8 inch. Bottom of the all the neighbors and everything.
Yeah, everybody thinks that this is 11 to 3, so they're going to come at 11 and see anything.
They didn't think about how we could get
This is bottom row.
I don't know if they'll fit the back seat in the dark. Can't put them on the trunk. They're too tall. I just have some scrapping too. I just have
Lift it up. If it breaks, it breaks. There's no fixing it.
All right, we'll take the two.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look at that. That's awesome. We'll have to run back to the car. That work? You like them too? Or you want a smaller one?
I sliced mine and used them, so.
right, everybody, we're going to get this show started. Meet your MC, the Chris Brown. He can be very entertaining. He'll have some stories for you. But we're blessed with beautiful weather again. Thank goodness. Thanks for coming out, and I hope you enjoy the day. Take it away, Chris.
All right, welcome to Anoka, Minnesota, Halloween capital of the world, and what better way to represent Halloween than pumpkins, right? That's what we all love. But these pumpkins are super-sized pumpkins, and we're going to weigh them today to figure out who will be the champion of the Anoka Halloween Giant Pumpkin Weigh-Off. So we're going to get started. Here we actually have more than just pumpkins. We have other giant fruits. You'll hear me today talk about some different lingo. One is GPC. So GPC is called the Great Pumpkin Commonwealth. If you look right behind the desk there, see that Great Pumpkin Commonwealth, that banner, that orange banner? That is a governing body for all the giant weigh-offs on Earth that are associated with it. So there are roughly 120 giant pumpkin competitions just like this around the entire globe. So from Japan, to Europe, over to the United States, and even South Africa. They're all governed by the same governing body, and that's the GPC, the Great Pumpkin Commonwealth. And in that GPC, there are 8 recognized giant fruits and vegetables. Actually, they're all fruits. The big one is the giant pumpkins. But we also have giant squash, which is actually the same family as the giant pumpkins, but they have to be 100% green. So we'll be weighing the giant squash. We also have giant watermelon, and we have giant tomato. We have giant bushel gourd. We have giant longboard, which I don't see any of, and giant marrow, which is like a big zucchini. Think of it as a giant zucchini. And then the last one is giant field pumpkin. We'll get into this a little later, but giant field pumpkin and giant pumpkins are separate species. So they don't interbreed, they don't intercross. This thing, you curl it up, backs them up. It's the big ones, soft stem. The giant field pumpkins are curled up, peppo, and those are hard green stem. Those are the ones you guys are used to getting and carving up and putting on your front porch or your steps. Separate species, so giant pumpkins are different than giant field pumpkins. Just real quick, the world record giant pumpkin stands at 2,749 pounds. The giant field pumpkin stands at 268 pounds. So quite a bit different, but they are both considered pumpkins. We do have one of those here today. I see at least one, so we'll weigh that up as well. In fact, I think we're going to start with our smallest of the giants, the tomatoes. So let's hop right into it. Again, my name is Chris Brown. I've been growing giants since 2017, so about seven years now. And let's see what we got. All right, so the first giant tomato is actually grown by me. And what is interesting is I am the current Minnesota record holder, state record holder for giant tomatoes. I grew a giant tomato to over 9 pounds just a couple years ago. Now, if you can envision a 9-pound tomato, well, here, I'll help you envision. An NBA basketball is 29.5 inches circumference. My tomato is 29 inches. So it was an incredible tomato, one of the biggest ever growing on the planet. And this one comes in at 2.2 pounds, so just a baby. These are ones I grow for my BLTs. 2.2 pounds, good weight. Might be big enough for first place here. It looks like we only have 2 entries.
Everyone's in the top three. There you go. All three.
Yeah.
Dill, you could have won this.
Christine, oh, there she is. Wait, she brought another tomato. We'll see what that one was. She came all the way here from Wisconsin Dells. She won 1.64 pounds. Nice tomato, Christine. Thank you for driving over from Wisconsin. Especially with all of us Packer fans, or Vikings fans, happy today. I guess I'm a secret. I'm not sure. All right, so we got the tomatoes done. Nice and easy, a couple of them. And the tomatoes really represent a giant that almost anybody can grow. So if you're looking at these pumpkins and you're like, I don't have the space to grow a giant pumpkin. Giant tomatoes are excellent, giant. Anybody can grow it. If you have a porch and you can put out a pot and grow it, you can grow these giants right in your own yard. So if you ever wanted to jump into competition growing the extreme gardening that we do, tomatoes are an excellent first choice. Another one is giant sunflowers. Giant sunflowers are fun, giant can grow, they take very little space. All right, we're going to go over to bushel gourds. Hold up the bushel gourd. Well, this is a small bushel gourd, but you know you might as well bring one if you got it, just in case nobody else does, because then you win, right? So this bushel gourd grown by Christine as well. 0.8 pounds. Bushel gourd for the state record is actually 331 pounds. You can imagine that is 331 pounds. That is what our Minnesota state record bushel gourd is, and that was grown by me as well. Just probably 5 years ago after that, it was a monster. And the world record was grown out east in, I believe, Massachusetts by Steve Conley. And that was at 470 pounds. So an incredible bushel. All right, the next one we're going to move on to. Remember I said marrow earlier? Marrow, marrow, there's a couple ways to say it. It's a potato. Marrow. We'll get a couple people up here to show you guys this. Dan, why don't you come up here since you grew it? All right, Dan grew a marrow, or marrow, however you want to say it. It is like a giant zucchini. In fact, I like to call it alligator zucchini because of their skin. They look like an alligator. And these things, they grow pretty quick, but what's cool is just last week, Dan from Sturgeon Lake, Minnesota, grew the new state record marrow at 74 pounds. Congratulations. Very, very nice. The one tomato is a little smaller, so probably not looking at a new state record, but we'll throw it up on the scale here. Where's my scale? Oh, okay. I guess Dan's going to be my scale. We'll have to throw it up. Just as long as he doesn't put secrets in it on the way. Hold it up, though, for the audience. That right there is a marrow, or what I like to call an alligator zucchini. See that like ridgy? It looks really cool. Now, again, he has a 74-pound state record. The world record is 256 pounds. All right, go ahead and put it on. Let's see what the giant marrow weighs. 46 pounds. Well, we'll call it 47. 47 officially. Oh, it keeps going up. Must be gaining weight. We'll call it 47. 47 is official weight. You want to do?
Oh, there's that.
That's a lot of zucchini bread. And you can use them for zucchini bread. A lot of questions will be asked for. Can you eat these giants? You can eat them. They're actually not too bad. Some of them that get real big, they can get a little more fibrous, a little more watery, but all of them you can eat. In fact, there's a grower that every year he takes a chunk out of this pumpkin and he turns it into a bunch of pumpkin pies. So you can eat them. The watermelon, I got one coming up here. I'm going to eat that. It's really sweet, right out of the garden. All right, remember earlier how I talked about the GPC recognized fruit? There's 8 of them. We do have one here that is a non-recognized GPC fruit, but there's a lot of giants besides just what's recognized by the GPC. In fact, there's probably about 80 different giants you can grow. And I currently keep track of state records in every state for about 55 of them. So if you ever want to grow somewhere and maybe get your name in the record books and nice little certificate, definitely talk to you about that. I do have a Facebook group called Garden of Giants. You can get on there, hear from all the giant growers across the planet. All right, let's weigh the butternut squash next. The butternut squash is a fun, non-GPC recognized fruit. It does get big. In fact, the world record's up near 131 pounds, I believe, somewhere right in there. And the state record was held by Serene at 71 pounds. So before he throws this on the scale, if this is over 71 pounds, it will be a brand new Minnesota state record butternut squash. All right, go ahead, put it on. Let's see what we got. Come on, be 72.
There's the red numbers.
Oh, so close, 66 pounds. All right, Serene's safe. I don't even think she's here yet, but she's safe. So we got a 66-pound butternut squash. Now you see it's still green. It's still green. I mean, it's plenty, but it's still growing because it'll turn a nice kind of a tan color. You guys all know what butternut squash look like. As it gets fully mature, it goes to a nice tan color. So that one had some pounds left on it. My guess is that the weather is what caused him to say, okay, it's done. All right, let's go to, let's see. All right, we'll jump over to watermelon. Now, watermelon, Minnesota and watermelon typically don't go together. That's a fruit that loves heat. In fact, the more heat you give it, the better off they grow. And I remember liking my first watermelon. I did not think you could even grow watermelon in Minnesota, but I got a pretty decent one. And this year we got a couple entries. The first one is Lisa Magnuson. Hey, how's it going, Lisa? Now this is your first year growing watermelon, correct? Last week you got, was it 65 pounds? 65 pounder last week, so that's pretty damn good for first year out, especially with our cold spring and summer. But we'll see what this one weighs. We'll get the lifting over there. See what's going to watermelon. And Lisa and Jim, just if you guys don't know, they were up until this year the Minnesota State Fair record holders for giant pumpkins at 76 pounds. Incredible. All right, let's see what the melon weighs. It comes in at 57 pounds, a little less than last week, but still very respectable and something that would be very good for the garden. I want to take a picture with it. Very nice. 57-pound watermelon. The watermelon we typically use in varieties called the Carolina Cross. That's typically been known to get up to 200 pounds. Now the Minnesota state record, to give you guys an example of how big it can get in Minnesota, is 227.5 pounds. Growing down, I believe, by Rochester, right in that area. The world record, interesting, comes from Tennessee. And that was thrown by Chris Kent. And that came in at incredible. Ready? 350.5 pounds. Personal best is 183.5, which is pretty good stuff. This one's not going to be Beautiful. Excellent. I'll take it. It's a lot of water. All right, 111 for the watermelon for Chris.
If I posted a link to this, people would probably watch it. My Facebook.
All right, next category we're going to get into before we get to these big giant pumpkins is actually related to the giant pumpkins. It is called the giant green squash. And the only thing that separates the giant green squash from the giant pumpkins is color. They're both the same species. You it up maximum. So that's the exact same. So the only thing in how they qualify as the giant squash is they have to be 100% green. You cannot be orange on them or else they are considered a pumpkin. So it can be all green except for one spot orange, and then that's considered a pumpkin. So that's the rules with the GPC. And then for squash coming up here, Christine. All right, Christine got any squash just this year, first year, right?
They're fine. Do you want to go get some donuts? Want some donuts?
What's your biggest? What's your 281? And that was last week. So she had one 281 last week. This is gonna be. Let's see what we got. Craig, jump off. This one comes in at 106. Got over 100. You want me to take a picture of it? Great. Congrats.
Yeah.
Okay, then we go home.
Weigh 230 pounds.
So then,
That's fine. You want to go get some?
I feel like you can get it bigger than that.
Let's start for the squash. There is one more squash. We're going to get that one up here. Just to let you guys know, the state record squash, just to let you know how big they can get, is about 15, I think it's 1,595 pounds, going by Charlie Bertstrike. It's a big one, almost 1,600 pounds. So they can get big, and the world record actually stands right now at 2,118 pounds. Don't believe out of Ohio, I believe it's. But yes, they can get over 2,000 pounds. There's only been maybe 3 or 4 going over that 2,000 pound mark, which is quite incredible to get a pumpkin that big or a squash. All right, the second one. This one is Dan's. Where's Dan? Always help. So Dan Peterson, he must grow a little bit of everything. And that is Dan from Sturgeon Lake. Beautiful color, 100% clean, which is what we want, and 105 pounds. Very, very impressive. That was a close one.
I can hear it coming out of here, but I can't connect this to my headphones.
All right, so Steve won. 106 to 105. 1 pound difference. That's crazy. Yeah, it was probably that little skinny. All right, I think that's it for small veggies, right? Or small fruits. So I think we're going to move on to our Atlantic Giants. Remember, Atlantic Giants are the big ones, the big giant pumpkins. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to start with the smallest and work our way to the biggest. Now, how do we know what the smallest is versus the biggest? We do a measurement. And the measurement is 3 ways. So we do a circumference measurement, we do a side to side, and then we do a stem to blossom We add those three scores together, and then that gives us an estimate of how much they weigh. So then what we'll do is we'll take the smallest, we'll start weighing it all the way to the biggest. Now, it doesn't mean you can get something with a small OTT, which is what we call a three-way measure, that ends up weighing a lot more because it's dry and it's thick. So you never know. We have the estimates, and then the truth will present itself once we put it on the scale. So I guess we have a field pumpkin before we jump into the Atlantic Giants. Now remember, the giant field pumpkins are a separate species from the giant pumpkins. So this is a hard stem field pumpkin, the type that you buy, you carve, and you put on your steps of your porch. And this one was grown by Dan Peterson, the guy that brought it up there. Comes in at 57 pounds. Your personal best is what, 100? 103 pounds. So he has grown up to 103. This is a 57-pounder, very nice. It hasn't even turned orange yet. So when you know when it turns orange, that's when it's done growing. So this one, again, was still growing, probably cut it because he's up by Duluth, and, the probably froze their neighbors. But congratulations, very nice size. Again, a state record for a field pumpkin, 197 pounds. So very, very good size. The world record, 260. So it can get big. All right, now we'll jump into the Atlantic Giants.
If I'm being honest.
And again, we're going to start with the smallest one first, measured by our three-way measurement. We call it OTT. It gives us the estimated weight. Looks like Craig's going to just haul it over there. He's feeling strong today. Can handle a 200-pounder, no problem. All right, let me. All right, so the first pumpkin, Titus Bird, come on down. How's it going? I haven't seen you for a while. Okay, maybe a week ago. Last week you weighed one. How big was it? 100. He weighed, first year growing, very first time growing, he weighed a 172-pounder last week. This is the second one he's going to put on scale. Let's jump off, see how much it weighs. 49 pounds. Congratulations, Titus. A nice pumpkin for your first year out. And Titus is from New Prague, so thank you for coming up. All right, Steve, you're going to be on deck. Throw it in the river. Was grown by Stephen Leensbart out of Champlin, Minnesota, Brook Falls. Just, very close, about a 5-minute drive. Yeah, that's nice. Makes it easy on you, right? All right, and this is your second year growing. Last year, you got a personal best of 94 pounds that you brought to Stillwater. We're going to see if we can't get above that personal best. So whenever you grow a giant, you try to get a baseline. Your biggest one becomes your personal best, and your goal is really competing with yourself. You want to try getting bigger than you have the year before. And he's going to do that, hopefully. Hopefully it's over 94 pounds, so. Okay. Well, we're hoping for 150 at least. That would definitely give him a new personal best. All right, let's everything's away from it. Let's see if Steve gets a new personal best. Anything over 94, 145, perfect. That is amazing. We'll grab a picture if you like. You got a new personal best.
My benchmark's gonna
All right, we got two down, two littlest. We're up to 145. Let's see who's more. We'll see. You think any pumpkins here are bigger than 145?
Yes.
Might be a couple, right? Like it. All right, so I'll go over a couple things today just to enlighten you guys on giant pumpkins. When I get a little downtime between each giant pumpkin. The first one is we might as well do a history lesson, right? Let's figure out where this came from, what's even the big thing about giant pumpkins, and how did they get so big? Well, they weren't always so big. The giant pumpkins, if you go back to the year 1900, so that was what, 124 years ago. 1900, there was a grower, his name was William Warren, and he brought a pumpkin to the World Fair, and that pumpkin came in at 400 pounds, right on the nose. And that was the new world record. And we might be getting close to that 400-pound pumpkin. But we'll pick up on that story after we play this. The guy who's actually holding the pumpkin is the grower. Comes in at 152, the new leader. Look at that. Yeah. Now Alex's personal best is almost 2,000 pounds. So this was a little fruit that was just growing on the sideline. And I love it that you're taking a picture with it. That really makes me happy. 152 for Alex. Like I said, his personal best is almost 2,000 pounds. What was it, Alex? 1,956 to be exact, which is a pretty incredible pumpkin. He has one in the patch. I don't know. One for next week that might challenge that. He's pretty secretive. He doesn't like telling me his levels. But it might challenge. But congratulations, Alex. You are the new current leader. 152. See if we can't get anybody bigger. I'm guessing okay. All right, so remember, William Warnock, he brought a pumpkin, 400 pounds, brand new world record back in 1900. And then, the next 8 years, I like to call the dark ages, because pumpkin sizes didn't really go up. In fact, 1980 is when the next giant grower brought in a monster pumpkin. It came in at like 437 pounds. And that pumpkin was the new world record. So from 1900 to 1980, the world record went up only 37 pounds roughly. I might be a couple pounds off on that, but it's roughly that. And the cool part about the grower in 1980, which is what, that grower's name was Howard Dill. He decided to do something different. He decided to give away those seeds to other growers and to tell them his tricks, tips, and secrets. How did he grow it? And then what happened over the next 40 years was quite amazing. Almost every single year, the world record went up and up and up. 1996, the first 1,000-pound pumpkin was attained. Incredible. Nobody thought you could hit 1,000 pounds, and then when it was 1,000 2006, so just 10 years later, the first 1,500 pound pumpkin was hit. And then everybody's like, well, we'll never hit 2,000, that can't happen. And in 2012, the first 2,000 pound pumpkin hit the state. And so the weights kept going up because there's a few reasons. But one is the growers started sharing seeds and they started sharing information. And that information really helped all the growers kind of compete at the same level versus one guy being able to get the big one every year. All right, we're going to give this next one up to Christine. Where are you? Let's see. Oh, there she is. All right, Christine, remember she came over from the Wisconsin Dells. She was at Anoka last week, and you had a pretty good pumpkin there. And Nakusa, what was your one in Nakusa? 449. Oh, and it is going to the Packers Stadium. Lambeau Field's going to carve it up.
Nice.
Because it was yellow and green. See, some people ask, oh, why are these different colors? Well, they can be any shade between white, green, orange, even a yellow if they're younger. And they can be all different shades, all the same fruit, all the same species. In fact, if you look at this one is a beautiful, beautiful orange.
I know.
Now, this is a good opportunity to tell you about. Remember the guy who just told you about in 1980 who a world record company? His name was Howard Dill. Howard Dill is the award we give out for the it's called the Age Award Howard Dill. So at the end of the show today, one of these pumpkins is going to be crowned the most prettiest. And they're going to get a nice orange plaque and what we call the Howard Dill Award. So this one right here is a beautiful fantastic type of pumpkin. And it actually came from another grower from last year. His HP record. In fact, this guy right here, Jerry Gibson's the one who grew the pumpkin last year. Gave Christina seed. He won the prettiest pumpkin last year. Gave Christina seed. She grew it, and she got. Well, she had a very beautiful pumpkin. We'll see how big it is. His last year was 1,182 pounds. Christine, this is your second year growing, right? Second year growing, so she's still working on her soil a little, but boy, that color is bright. So we'll put her on here, we'll see how big are you hoping? Let's try it for 250. That put you in the lead, if nothing else. All right, we'll clear the ropes away. Get my feet off the scale. 222 pounds, brand new leader, beautiful little pumpkin. Congratulations, Christine, all the way from Wisconsin Dells. You are up there, grab a picture.
I know you want to go on the excavator, but you can't. Very dangerous.
All right, congratulations, a brand new leader at 222 pounds. Let's see if we can
I called you to tell you to
surpass that. But anyways, getting back to the Giants. So
watching.
remember, 2012,
That's more
the
than
very first 2,000 pound pumpkin hit the scales in the world. Brand new world record. And since 2012, it has only gone up from there. In fact, just last 2,749 pounds. And guess where that pumpkin was grown?
Minnesota.
I heard somebody say, at least close. So, the pumpkin was grown about 15 miles north of here in the town of Nowden. His address is an Anoka address, 55330 or 55303, right? Yeah. So a lot of the news organizations said Anoka. It is technically Nowden, but Anoka Nowden, all the same, it's 15 miles north of here. The largest pumpkin on this planet was grown at 2,749 pounds.
Everybody knows.
Grown by Travis, who has another one in his patch right now as we speak that is rivaling that program. So the home obviously is broken the record from the year before, which almost never happens in this.
That way in the
The cool part about growing giant pumpkins is that it is so random based on weather and soil, and there's so much going on. Whatever, pick your favorite sports team. But the same
that big frame.
can't win every single year. So he tries to pull off the
That track, you see how they're strapping the pumpkin in and then they're putting it on a scale. They're getting weight.
17 to 23.
All right, well, update for all you Vikings fans, and to really just shove it in the face of the Packer fans. Vikings win 23-17. Oh yeah, 5-0 baby. There's almost nobody left that 5-0. I think we're going to the Super Bowl. Who agrees with me? Is this 98 all over again? It better be a little better than 98. All right, let's get back focused here. Chip, come on up. Chip is from Dowden, actually probably a mile or two from Travis. Maybe that's good soil up there, right? All right, Chip actually weighed his biggest pumpkin because you're a first-year grower last week at, was that at 529? 529 pounds, first-year grower. Incredible. This is his smaller one, right? Probably going to be, well, right there, 285. It looks like it's going to land on. But adding a second one to your giant pumpkin journey. So jump up there, grab a picture. So 280, I think the official was 285 before the wind started blowing. But Chip, yeah, like I said, Chip's from Nowden, Minnesota, just a couple miles from Travis. He got a few seeds this spring. Jump into a journey. It's probably needless to say you're hungry, right? Oh, yeah. That's awesome. And I'm sure they'll get bigger and bigger. I bet next year we'll see it over. All right, we'll move on. On deck, Marvin. All right, so before we get Marvin up here, I think he's a first year grower too. We'll get his pumpkin over here. But, so, how do these pumpkins keep getting so big? How is it that Travis, just a few miles from here, you go at 2,749 pounds? One thing that we do that most people don't know happens is what we call closed pollination. We do not let the bees touch our patches. And the reason why is because you never know if that big old bumblebee flies into Miss Johnson's patch. She has the world's smallest pumpkins. And it brings back that pollen and introduces it to our large pumpkins. So we want to control it. And the way we control it is we cover that female flower the day before she opens. With like a bag, a string, I put chicken clips on it. Just we want to prevent it from opening. And then what you do is the morning it opens, you open her up, and you've collected like 5 male flowers, either from the same plant or you can do another plant that So you'll take your female off the orange, you'll leave her under your cover, you go over to your big pumpkin plant, and you grab, I like to get 3 to 5 male flowers. And then the next morning, 7 a.m., you're going to open it up, paint that pollen on, and then cover her back up. And then that way, you have now ensured that you have a pure genetic cross, or genetic self. And that's how those pumpkins kept getting bigger and bigger every year. Just by doing really controlled pollination. So that's one of the many secrets with growing these giant pumpkins. If you're just growing the pumpkins and you don't care what bee hits it, it will not affect the weight of your current year's growing. It only affects the seeds that you'll take out and then grow the next year. So the pollen, you can use the pollen from the smallest, from the little kiri squashes, and they'll pollinate these. And it won't do a thing for that year's growth. It just ruins the seeds for the future. All right, let's get the next pumpkin up here. Come on down. Oh, let's see. Marvin, you're from Jordan? Oh, right there. Marvin from Jordan. Get a little bit of it, right? And this is first year. Is this the very first pumpkin you guys are making on scale? Okay, very first pumpkin. So this pumpkin will be his personal best, his baseline, very first time ever putting on there. What do you hope it is? 300. Let's go for 300. That will give him the lead. That's always a good thing, right? All right, let's see if we can get. Let's come on up here. It's a pretty pumpkin. What's the genetics on it? Oh, 1965 capsules. So that was the really pretty one. That's still one. A couple years back. What was that last year? What was that last year?
So you know how last time it was a little like.
All right, we'll get the ropes off here. Does look pretty nice. That has a nice orange glow.
Oh yeah, they're all.
We're going to get it over on there and then get an actual weight. Get the straps moved away. See what Marvin Clare from Jordan, Minnesota, what his very first pumpkin's going to come in at. All right, Dan, jump off. 339 pounds, a new beater. Very nice size pumpkin. Well, good. Grab a picture with it. 339 pounds. Incredible. They're getting bigger, folks. Going in the right direction.
Maybe I'm totally fine.
All right, if you get a new personal best and a new leader, I'm going to tell you about what's going on in Anoka. First off, today, lots of different food trucks, vendors, you'll check them out, lots of different stuff you can buy. Cheers to mini donuts around here. But we do have a few different events coming up here. Looks like Saturday, October 9th, we have Light Up the Night Parade, so that looks like that would be fun. And then a big bonfire on October 19th. We have medallion hunts on October 20th. Bingo night, October 21st. A house decorating contest. That sounds really interesting. That is going to be October 25th, 26th. And then the big parade of little people. Remember that? Who went to school in that? When you were younger? Anybody? I was in that way back in the day. That's a fun one. That one is on October 25th on Friday. We get all the little kids from the schools in their costumes walking around the Anoka. It's really fun. Yeah, check that out. Then the big brand new parade, that's the big one. You will see some of these, maybe some of these giants on some of the floats. That is October 26th, Saturday. So you gotta definitely check that out. All right, the next pumpkin we're gonna bring up. Let's see, is this Jerry's?
We gotta cut
This
this
one
off.
is that's a pretty one. So Jerry, we're drawing a few pretty ones over here. I think, what do you got? 3 HP awards in your logo? 3 years? 3 in a row, and now then. So when I say now then, or I say Stillwater, I should probably step back and say, remember the GPC, the one that governs, we use their rules. Those rules follow the Guinness World Record rules. But the GPC, we hold 3 GPC sponsored events in Minnesota. They're the competitions. So last week we had one in Anoka. This week we have one in Anoka. And next week, next Saturday, this Saturday, they're having a big one over in Stillwater. So if you guys want to see some of the largest pumpkins on earth, head to Stillwater next Saturday. So we're probably going to have about 40, maybe 50 pumpkins. And many of them are going to be over $2,000. They're going to be really, really big. So definitely check that out. But Jerry, last 3 years at the Now Then event, has grown 3 very big pumpkins. And he's won the HP Award, the Howard Dill Award I talked about. And this one is another beauty, which is really pretty. But on the small side for what he used to, but it was a rough year. Started cold. He lives by the loop, so we got that wind out that late for this. And you've already had a few frosts, right? If not, you're going to freezing. All right, 532 for this beauty. And it is a beauty. It's a Dill there. That's a beautiful one. Jerry's best is I think you guys just this year, right? Your biggest? 1534. So Jerry has grown them at 1,534 pounds. But this one is a beautiful 532 pounds. Congratulations, Jerry. Excellent.
You were the closest one. He said 549. Yeah,
And if anybody likes keeping track of the seats, that was a 2266 Heisman. Dove through that seat last year over in Ohio. Now, when you hear me say 2266, that Heisman, that is how we identify the different seats. Remember, we keep our genetics here, we identify the seats. It's basically a package, just like dogs, horses, whatever. So a 2266 is a 2,266 pound pumpkin grown by a grower named Dill. And that seed, that was the seed that came out of that 2,266 pound pumpkin. Jerry then took that and grew that pumpkin. So now this pumpkin will be a Gibson. Jerry's last name, Gibson. And what was it, 532 Gibson is what that seed is. It's a windy one, man. I'm sorry for getting that feedback. rules you have to follow. And one of those rules is you can only pick one of your pumpkins in the bowl to be the official one towards the prize structure, towards the awards. So this next one we're going to weigh is what we call an exhibition pumpkin. It is one that we just want to leave a weight on, but it's not going to count for any of the awards or any of the prizes. It's just simply to get the official weight on the so we get only one of those today, so if you hear the word exhibition, fruit or exhibition pumpkin, that is just an extra pumpkin that was brought by and grown. So the way that you're supposed to do it, as you can see, the way that you have to do it, is you grow multiple pumpkins and you bring them to different layouts. So one pumpkin is grown for each layout. Jerry has more pumpkins than the layouts that he's going to this year, so that's why he brought an extra one to get the weight on it. And again, his personal best is 1,554 or 34 pounds, and that is quite impressive considering he goes up a certain leg, which is always a little colder than everybody else. We'll get this wrapped up, get it onto the scale. We'll see what this exhibition is. Pull the ropes away. See what Jerry has. 656. 656 is going to be the official weight on that one. Congratulations, Jerry. That's his exhibition pumpkin. So in this case, his exhibition actually weighed more. You technically want your exhibition to weigh less. However, this other pumpkin is so good. Very, very good genetics. Needs to be from a controlled pollination. Those usually work the best because you know what you're dealing with. And if you are interested in seeds, before I get it too much further, at the table here, they see there's some merchandise, some swag, some pumpkins, some aloe vera plants in each one or so. There's also some pumpkin seeds up here. So if you're interested in some of the best genetics on this planet, we do have some of those seeds right over there. But the seeds are very important. If you get the good genetics, you can then grow the monster fruit. If you go to the store, like a Walmart, a Home Depot, and they have the seed kiosk, and you go up there and you see giant pumpkin, that's not going to get you a very good pumpkin. At best, you might pull off a 200 to 300 pound, but that's a lot of work. You put that same amount of work into the really good seeds, always start with the best seed. Once you have the good seeds, you need the great soil. That's very important. Those two go hand in hand. If you have the best soil in the world, but you go buy a generic seed, you're going to get nothing. If you have the best seed in the world and you throw it in sand, you're going to get nothing. So they're really hand in hand. You want to have really good soil. Now, what does that look like? You need compost. You need compost is the number one thing I recommend put into any garden, and that's leaf, grass, manure, any kind of manure, any of those manures are going to help. But the very thing is to put that food into that soil that then gets you nitrogen. All the billions and billions of living organisms in that soil, it'll get them really well. Nature's very, very important. All right, next pumpkin. Okay, before we do the pumpkin, we're having some ambassadors come on up. So come on up. I think they're going to introduce themselves here. I'll let them take it away.
Hey guys, thanks for having us out. We are the 2024 Anoka Royal Ambassadors. My name is David Gold.
I'm Claire Gronsky. Thank you guys so much for having us today. We're super excited to be here. It's really fun to see all these giant, enormous pumpkins. This is crazy.
And my name is Tasha Bomani. I'm so happy to see all of you guys out here today in the community of Anoka celebrating the best time of year with all of these pumpkins and fruits, and it's crazy, but I'm so happy you all are here today.
Yes, thank you guys.
All right, congratulations to Royal Ambassadors. Thank you so much.
Good luck, guys.
All right, now let's get on to waiting. Let's see, is this Charlie and Caleb from Henderson? All right, first year growing, right? Have you guys ever weighed? This will be your very first pumpkin you ever weighed. We call it a team grow. You guys help? All right, so we got our team. First year growers, so whatever this weight is going to be their baseline. It's going to be their personal best. Charlie and Caleb, let's get that pumpkin on. What are you holding? 700? Whoa, that would jump us up. We'd be going right to the top, get a new leader. All right, 700, so I'm assuming you guys have done some taking of it, right? So you kind of have a lesson in the words here. What seed is this one? 1865 national. So that was from a 1,965 pound pumpkin from a grower named Pete Casper. 1,600 Casper. From Iowa. Came up to Stillwater last year. Weighed it. It was very beautiful. We got 739. All right, going up there. That is incredible. 739 pounds. Very first year growing. And it's pretty nice looking too. I love those ribs. Gives it some good hair. 739 pounds now. What's very interesting, I'll tell you the story because it's pretty cool. 2017, the very first year they did the Anoka event, I brought my very first pumpkin, and it weighed 763 pounds. So that was back in 2017. So 739, you guys did absolutely incredible. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. You going more for Stillwater? You got more? Yeah? Okay, good. Hopefully we see a monster there. And then we will see some big ones next year. All right, 739. All right, this next pumpkin gives me an opportunity to introduce our carvers for the day. Wave, Jody and Shannon Engel, out along, well, they came all the way from Wisconsin. They're nominated to be exact. That wasn't too far. But they, you gotta stop by and check out what they do. They do an amazing for the Packers, because you know they're Packer fans. And then they're going to be down to Mall of America again this year, correct? And that's going to be later in October. They will be back last weekend in October at Mall of America, carving up all the pumpkins there. So if you get down to the mall that day, check them out and their work. They do an amazing job. Husband-wife team. They got their little.
I want to go walk around, but I don't want to leave our stuff.
Little English bulldog. French, little French. Cool colors. What's your name, Mavis? Little Mavis. So come check out their carving. And then next is their pumpkin. Now Shannon, he generally likes to grow orange and beautiful. That's his thing. He by accident, of course. By accident. Those are the ones that fill the tanner. But this one today, this is a beautiful one. Now this gives me an opportunity to explain something that a lot of people ask. Now most of the Atlantic giants are grown on their sides. See how the stems on this end, flower ends on this one? If you look at Shannon's pumpkin, it is growing what we call Cinderella stem. So it was growing on its flower end. So this flower end here, it was growing purposely on that, and then the stem going straight up into the air versus off to the side. So if you look at it, it is what we call a Cinderella pumpkin. It's when it works, it is just beautiful. This one looks pretty good. It has a little bit of a pear shape, but the color is really nice, and it looks like it's off the 359 Fox, which is a legendary seed from a legendary grower, Bill Foss out of Buffalo, Minnesota. He no longer grows, but he has a great little documentary video, if you ever find it on the internet. I think it's Bill's big pumpkin journey or something like that. But it's off of his seed. This one does look really nice. You know, when the pumpkins are grown this way, they can be very deceivingly hard to measure. So midway growing, what really is picky. Now Shannon's personal best is 1,454 pounds, which is a pretty good sized pumpkin. And we'll see what this one weighs. What are you hoping it weighs, Shannon? All right, well, 550, maybe 507. 507, a pretty Cinderella pumpkin. Cinderella style pumpkin. Go ahead and take some pictures. Little Mavis. Some growers will specifically pick out their seeds based on the lineage, the history, the pedigree, and they want as much orange in that pedigree that you can get. And then they know there's a better chance of getting a really orange pumpkin if you can pick out a lineage like that. And then some people just like the biggest pumpkin possible. They don't care what it looks like, and they will look for pumpkins that go empty chart. So if you ever hear me today say empty chart, what that means is we did that three-way measurement. We got the estimate. Say it estimates at 1,000 pounds. Then we put it on a scale, and it comes up at 1,200 pounds. That means it went heavy to chart, which means that the grinds had a lot more grinds, rust, make it way. got that weighed up. Now we're gonna take a little break, so go check out some of the vendors, grab a drink or some food, and we'll be back in just a little bit to weigh the next group of pumpkins. Remember, they're getting bigger and bigger. We're going towards our first half-ton pumpkin coming up shortly.
He did. Yeah. 203. Show the picture. We did. Yep, it's official.
What were you going to get?
Exactly. Next year.
A welcome taco. $11.
$11.
There's some egg rolls.
I don't think this is gonna die.
I don't know what that one.
Like a shorts thing, but.
Are you rubbing elbows with them or yeah, because otherwise we'd be spicy.
They're winners. Oh, they got it. They pulled it out. They pulled it out. 5-0.
Good.
Yeah.
Those are cute too with the princess on there.
Garbage just anywhere.
How many guys it take to get the pumpkin on the truck or on the elevator?
I think like 32.
32.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, if you haven't done it, there's a People's Choice Awards for the car meetings over there. Just past the Halloween Capital of the World Anoka tents, those orange canopies. Just past there, you can go vote on your favorite pumpkin. It was carved up, or there's a bunch of pumpkins that were carved by several different people, and you can go over there and do a vote for the People's Choice Award. Otherwise, we are about ready to get started, so come on back. We're going to start it back up. We're down to our top 5 pumpkins. These are the top 5 largest pumpkins. Hopefully we see some monsters.
Oh, I think about your
We are back. We're going to a final five. Josh, come on down. Woo! Josh, all the way from St. Cloud. Came on down. Oh, now, where did you get the seed to grow this from? Oh, for me. All right. One of my pumpkins that was very beautiful and won the Greatest Pumpkin Award at 1054. So 1,054 pound pumpkin. He took the seed and decision very first time growing, right? Very first year. You have to see the first pumpkin he puts on the scale, which is incredible. It's a very nice sized pumpkin. And it will set your baseline, your personal best. And it's beautiful to do. So excellent job at growing this. You're moving over onto that scale. What are you hoping to do? Okay, we're going to go for over 800, which we would. But we win the lead. That would get the biggest pumpkins so far today. If we can get over 800, set it onto that scale. So on the top five, we're going to do a countdown and see how big these giants are. A little bit of anticipation. Just one, so one and done, and it looks like a pretty good one. Your personal best is 208 pounds. So unofficially, last year he grew a 208 pound pumpkin. He is hoping to get a really good personal best. Let's see at least 800. Let's see it, Alex, pull it. 800! Go up there and grab your attention. Congratulations, Josh. All the way from St. Cloud. He takes a picture. Just to reiterate, we are at the end of the show going to have what we call the Prettiest Pumpkin Award. Now, that is the Howard Dill Award, kind of to pay homage to Howard Dill, who was one of the first growers back in the 80s to really start sharing seeds and information. They love those beautiful orange, brown pumpkins. And Josh, I would say he's in the running. There's a few really nice orange ones here. But congratulations again, Josh. We will wrap that one up, get it back out. And while he does that, I'm going to go over a couple more tips, tricks, and secrets. If you guys have ever wanted to grow these giant pumpkins, listen closely because I'm going to give you secrets. And remember, the one we talked about before break was seeds. You need the best seeds in the world. The ones that are genetically controlled by the giant growers. We do have some over there. I think they're $10. You can get some of the best pumpkins from 1,500 pumpkins and try your hand. The winner today will receive I think it's $1,000. So really, really nice price for first place. $1,500. I knew it went up. With the inflation, right? $1,500 this year. So, a little something to buy some more manure for your patch. But if you want to grow these giants, you want to give them a little bit of space. So what most of these growers do is they're going to give one plant and one pumpkin per plant. They're going to give 20 by 20 feet. Sometimes they'll go 30 by 30 feet, so about 1,000 square feet. So you'll go back to the pumpkin. It's really close. It's what can help your game. If you're getting pumpkins that are small, this is how you get them to 1,000 pounds or larger. As the vines grow, you're going to take those vines and you're going to bury them. You're going to put dirt over them. So every single vine, now we like to grow our pumpkin vines from where they start, we're going to grow them straight out. So think of it this way, start here, grows up, this is the main vine. Then off the main vine, you're going to have secondary vines going off in a direction so it looks similar to like a Christmas tree. And then the vines that come off the secondary vines, you're going to pinch them. You're not going to allow those to grow. And you want that organization to keep good airflow through it. That prevents disease. That's very important. That's how you get a bigger pumpkin. With those vines that come out, you want to bury them. If you're burying them, that means you're throwing some dirt over the top. Now, why do you do that? Because every single leaf that comes up, it grabs that solar energy, all that sun. There below that leaf, at the bottom of that stalk, is a root that grows down. And if you bury it, you get that root to grow down properly. And all of a sudden, you now have this plant that's 5,000 leaves. But below those 5,000 leaves are 5,000 roots going down into the ground. And they've done studies where 1,000-foot giant pumpkin plant has 15,000 miles of roots. Now those 15,000 miles of roots are doing one thing and one thing only, going through that soil looking for all the nutrients. So when you go from just one root coming out at the very base of the plant, and you go to thousands of roots, that's how you can grow these pumpkins so big. How big do they grow? They can grow up to 50 pounds per day. In fact, last year in Michigan, we had a grower. He reported his pumpkin in one day growing 70 pounds in one day. So the way they can grow so fast is a direct result of all those roots being able to feed that one pumpkin. They grow fast and furious. So that's very, very important. We're getting on to our next pumpkin here because I'll talk forever. Jim and Lisa, come on up. Woo! Jim and Lisa are from Atwater, Minnesota. Made a little bit of a drive. And remember, these guys, up until this year, were the Minnesota State Fair record holders at 1676 per pounds. All right, last week you guys weighed one. This week you got one that I think is a little, maybe bigger. Okay, all the same. Because last week you had 12 something. And your personal best, these guys have grown one was 1775 and a half. That was last year, right? Or 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And so this one may not get close to personal best because they've gotten a good personal best. I like that shape of that. Usually go with the all right. What do you think? Let's see if this is well. All right, let's go for at least one. And that would be the first pumpkin day over that magic half-time mark. We'll get up to 12. All right, once we get it all set here, we'll do a countdown. We'll do a five countdown. We'll get all the ropes removed here. See if we can't get these guys into the lead spot. All they need to do is be 8:45, but let's pull the ropes away. All right, let's see how big this monster weighs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do we got? 1076, over 1,000 pounds. Congratulations, Jim and Lisa. Go on up there. We have our first half-ton pumpkin of the day. 1,076 pounds. That is a great sized pumpkin. And remember, all these pumpkins grow this big in about 70 to 90 days. It is absolutely incredible that they can get so big. And again, sometimes it's growth spurts in one day of up to 50 pounds or even more. So incredible. That's how you get some big pumpkins. Congratulations, Jim and Lisa. First pumpkin over 1,000. All right, so again, back to the secrets, tips, and tricks to doing it. Burying vines absolutely essential. The genetics absolutely essential. And the good soil. But here's a little bit with the soil. if you want to utilize all the nutrients within that soil, you have to get that pH to a certain level. How do you know what the pH is? It's quite simple. You take a little, you scoop a few spots in your patch, you throw it in a bag, send it to a lab. They'll analyze it. There's a lab now that will analyze it for 45 hours. It'll tell you what your nutrient in there, your organic matter, potassium, which is how much pigment in the storehouse. It'll tell you what your pH is. Very important. So this is pro tip number 3. If you can keep your pH between 6.5 and 7, you're going to essentially help that pumpkin to freely feed. So think of it as, every day is Sunday afternoon at home. It can eat and eat and eat and eat, and it will never stop because the pH is absolutely perfect. If the pH goes above or below that 6.5 to 7, you start to cut off some of the nutrients. They're not available to the pumpkin, and that then can cause your pumpkin to essentially starve and not be able to live. So very, very pH of your soil, correct? Another really good trick some people ask us, how do we lift these? Well, you kind of see up there, we have a pumpkin harness. So a lot of us hardcore pumpkin growers, we have these pumpkin harnesses. And what we'll do is we'll use either a tripod. So you'll build a tripod over your pumpkin, and then you'll pick it up with the harness, and you'll slide a trailer underneath, and then set it back down. Or you could put it onto like a skid steer, and you can use the harness to pick it up and then bring it over to a pallet and then put it on the front of a truck or a trailer. Another question that I get a lot is, do you feed them milk? We do not feed pumpkins milk. You never want to feed your pumpkins milk. Milk, after an hour or two in the sun, will smell really bad, it'll rot, and it'll attract every possible pest that you don't want around your pumpkin to destroy your pumpkin. So if somebody ever tells you to feed your pumpkin milk, they're just trying to eliminate you from the competition. Real quick, anybody have any questions? Does anybody ever wonder anything about giant pumpkin? What do you got? They are not going on the ballot. So what we do is pumpkins are just the size of maybe a basketball. We'll get this foam board. I like to use the big foam board that's insulation board. I'll make like a 4x4 foot. If you're really feeling like you can grow a big one, go bigger. But 4x4 is really good. You'll drill holes in the foam board to allow water to go through. And then what that does is it gets it up off the soil. Because on the soil, these being a softer skin squash, they will actually rot. So you have to protect them. Now on that foam board, we'll put a light layer of sand. Just a small layer. And what that does is as these pumpkins grow, they'll slide across that sand. So they don't get all funky. Don't turn into like Java behind. So if you notice, this one might be a good example for you guys to see. You want to keep your stem and your flower end as parallel as possible. So you have to sometimes adjust, but there is no rolling pumpkins or anything like that. You really can't move these much once they get up to, roughly 500 pounds. It's really tough to move them. If they're up over 1,000 pounds and you want to move them, you gotta strap them and then you kind of use a winch to move them along. If you need to relieve some bind pressure. All right, this next one here, Serene. Are you around here? Serene staying? I thought I seen her. There's a little pumpkin. Oh, there's Serene. Come on down. A little Audrey, a little pumpkin. All right, so Serene was very kind, and she donated this pumpkin to be carved today. by our carvers, Shannon and Joey, appreciate that. And obviously they're doing a phenomenal job. But she did get this one weighed. It came in at 1,082 pounds. Congratulations, brand new leader. 1,082 pounds. And is that your personal best? Or 1,182. 1,182, so came very close, within 100 pounds of her personal best. Congratulations, Serene, and thank you so much for donating that for the carving. And she is our new leader, which is awesome. But just two pumpkins to go after this slide. All right, a lot of people ask us, what do we do with these pumpkins when we're growing? Yeah. You know, what's the point of growing them? What do we do with them? Well, the point of growing them is competition. We're what we call extreme gardeners. We want to grow something as big as we possibly can. It's, you know, like when I first did it, how I got involved was I went down to the state fair. I see a bunch of those giant pumpkins. And I thought to myself, why can't I do this? I grow tons of zucchini, tons of peppers, you know, tomatoes, and so on and so forth. Why can't I do it? Unless there's like some, you know, special secret, like you dump nuclear waste on it, why can't I do this? So I went home, I did a bunch of research, and I started growing giant pumpkins. Year they held it at Anoka. I brought my first pumpkin. It was 763 pounds. Totally blew away any concept of what I thought I could do. I was only for 100 pounds. And because I did so well that first year, I thought, you know what, I'm hooked. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. So I've been growing that along with other giants ever since. All right, next pumpkin will Craig will be our gift here. But what that tells you is that anybody can grow a giant pumpkin. You don't need a lot of room. They do a competition every year that's a worldwide competition called the 150 square foot challenge. And what that is, that means that you grow a pumpkin in 150 square feet. So like a 10 by 15 foot patch, basically. And the current world record for that sits at 1,375 pounds. So you can grow a very large pumpkin in a very small area. In fact, Craig, we're going to bring his pumpkin up here. He has that nice big orange one. We're going to pull that up. But Craig is also involved in the 150 square foot challenge this year. You're going to win that one next week in Stillwater, correct? So he's going for that. But you're probably not going to hit a world record. 800 to 900 pounds taking that. So just to give you guys an idea, he has an 800 to 900 pounder, which is similar to this one. This one's 845 pounds. So he grew this in a small, like what is your exact dimension? 25 feet long, 6 feet wide. You know, a lot. You don't have to do 10 by 15. You can do it however you want. But in just 150 square foot, it's growing something up near this size. So you don't have to feel like you have to make farms to grow these. And they're fun to grow. And this is a monster coming up here. So you got your family here today, huh? What are the names? Clara and Nolan. Do you guys love watching those pumpkins grow in the backyard all summer? They're growing. No, not much of helping. Well, that might not be a bad thing because a lot of times, sometimes when you help, you get hurt. A lot of grower air is the reason why pumpkins don't make it to scale. This one is a monster. It is actually off of the 2560 Ginger. Now, if you guys know anything about seeds, which you might not, which I'm going to tell you right now, the 2560 Ginger, remember, when we say those words, that's how we identify the seed. So the 2560 Ginger came from the 2,560 pumpkin, and Travis Ginger was about 14 miles from the here, grew almost 3 years ago now, and that was the North American record. There's never been one in North America growing that big. Now he eclipsed that last year with the world record, but that seed, the 2560, is a very special seed. It has grown a lot of personal bests and a lot of state and national records for people. This one may have a chance at a personal best, you think? Okay. So Greg's personal best, let's set it up here. Greg's personal best is 1,440 pounds. If this one eclipses that, he will have a brand new personal best. It's the largest pumpkin he's ever grown, which would be a pretty cool, pretty cool thing. Now, Craig doesn't give the full size that a lot of growers give. How many square feet do you think this pumpkin grew? So this one grew about 600, maybe 700 square feet at the most. And the weather was cold and wet this year. Not ideal to get rid of giant pumpkins, but he's still doing, I think, absolutely amazing. This one has really good color, which if you know anything about the 2560 gator, that generally doesn't happen. So I think you got a bit of an anomaly, which is always a good anomaly when it's real pretty like this. All right, we'll hold this away. We're hoping for, what do you want, new personal best? Great. All right, so let's go for 1,500 pounds. That would be our first 3/4 ton today. That would be a brand new personal best. We got 1,500 pounds. We'll get him in the lead. All right, let's do a countdown from 5. Let's see what we got. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull it. That is absolutely incredible. So this is a great example. Coming in at 1485. This pumpkin, when we did the three-way measurement, remember how we estimate how big they are. The circumference, side to side, over the from stem to flower. We add those measurements together, and it tells us how much it's supposed to weigh. Estimate. Now, when you put it on the scale, it tells you the truth. This one is supposed to weigh about 1490. So really, really close to what we thought it was going to weigh. Which is what you want. You want a chart, or you would love to see how that means the line inside is real thick. We'll wait through for what we can visually see in there. So having the charts that we always want. Did an amazing job. 1485. A brand new personal best. Over 20 pounds. pumpkin for today's giant pumpkin contest in the Halloween capital of the world, Anoka. What is more fitting and aside from the wind, is this weather now? It's a little windy. Hopefully, you didn't get too much rain feedback on the mic here. All right, this last one, what's interesting about it is, so remember the estimates. It estimates at, I think, 1590. So if it comes in where we think it's going to, it should be first place in the world. But you never know. I had watched, in fact, last week, we had a pumpkin that was supposed to weigh about 2,400 pounds, coming at 2,100 pounds overseas. So I mean, just a balloon, thin line. And then we also, in Wisconsin, we had a pumpkin that was supposed to weigh 2,100, coming at 2,551 pounds. Came in what we call heavy to charge, 26% heavy to charge. Means the rind is thick. When he cuts that open, and he's going to need himself a chainsaw, he will be able to see a side view of how thick those walls are. And you get those walls, you can get them up to 12, 13, 15 inches thick. I mean, if you got a neighborhood pumpkin smasher, put that out and see. Say, go try it. Any final questions before I mention, or before we play the last pumpkin? Anybody ever wonder anything about giant pumpkins? Or have I told you more than you even care to know? Yeah, what do you got? So, minimum, for what? Oh, okay. So, the question was, that, which is starts in the day second pollination. So what's the minimum for maturity or to bring to or maybe how long do they grow? Well, I'll answer it all. This one here's a younger pumpkin, you can tell by the skin. Really young. That one may only be 40 days old. You want to hit 45 days to get the seeds to viability, which means the seeds will be good to then plant the next year. So 45 days is my actually cut off there. The pumpkins, however, can actually grow for 120 days. So when you pollinate that pumpkin can now grow for 120 days. So a 120-day-old pumpkin can still be growing. It'll be very minimal at that time, but it can still be growing. So, good question. Yeah, what do you got? Okay. Right. Question was, what's the biggest pumpkin I've ever seen? Well, because we live in the best spot on Earth to grow pumpkins, and that is halfway between the equator and the North Pole, latitude 45. Best place on Earth. And here's the proof of the best place on Earth. Just 14 miles north of here, the world record pumpkin was grown. Now then, you got it. Travis Gator, who's a buddy of mine, lives right by me. I got to watch that pumpkin grow. A brand new world record, 2,749 hours grown right here in Minnesota. Here's the cool part about it. For over a decade, that world record was overseas. First it was Belgium, then it went over to Italy. Travis not only brought it back to the United States, but he brought it to Minnesota for the first time ever. So that is really cool, and it's cool that it was actually not even Minnesota, but right here in our backyard, just a few miles north of here, which is really, really neat. But that proves you can grow the monsters. And remember, when I went through the history lesson earlier, 1996, the first 1,000-pound pumpkin ever weighed in the world. Huge. No one thought we could ever get to. 2006, the first 1,500-pound pumpkin ever weighed in the world. No one thought we could ever get to. 2012, the first 2,000-pound pumpkin ever weighed on the planet. Nobody ever thought we could get there. And now we are on the brink of hitting 3,000 pounds. To give you perspective, a smart car is 1,500 pounds. You can put two smart cars together and you have the weight of what we are about to hit. Probably within the next year or two, maybe 3, but probably the next year or two, we will see the first 3,000 pound pumpkin, which is absolutely, I mean, Cinderella, we have your king. I mean, that's all I can say. It's an incredible journey from just 44 years ago when the world record barely scratched 400 pounds. So in 44 years, 400, it's almost magic. And we really truly are the of growing giants. And anybody can do it. There's a, this is a great example. This next grower up here, Brian, he's up by Grand Forks. This is his first, this is his second year. In his first year, he got a pumpkin to 2,098 pounds before it was it was not legal last year. But very first year growing, he almost hit 2,100 pounds. That is absolutely incredible. It's almost too hard to believe that you can grow a fruit to 1 ton in just 80, 90 days. But it happens. And if you hook up a time lapse camera to your pumpkin, it'll look like somebody's blowing up for it. It's great. Well, apparently we got to bring in the big equipment for this last one. That's always a good sign. All right, was there any other last questions before we get this last one going? Ever wanted to know anything about our giant pumpkin? Anybody? No, I must have did my job. I must have told you guys everything. You ever need to know? Oh, yeah, you got one. Scrappy first, and then I'll get you.
What do you do with them after the competition?
Yep, so after the competition, I can't remember if I answered this or not, but most people, because they're so darn proud of growing a big one, most of these end up at the end of the driveway as a little fall display, Halloween display. So that's where most of them will end up. They're just excited they grew something so really huge. You gotta remember, like 0.0000001% of people can grow something this big right here. So it's a proud moment, especially if you are a gardener, because you know how much work it takes to garden. But some people, and I've done this myself, some people will sell them to all America, and they'll use them for display cars. The zoo has the pumpkin nights. They've been down at the Minnesota Zoo. A bunch of them will go there. And a lot of times, the animals will eat them up. Car dealerships, casinos, movies, they all want these. These are rare. It's hard to get big pumpkins. They can be used for almost anything. You can even eat it. If you want to be in the kitchen for 5 weeks, you can make 1,000 pumpkin pies. I mean, nobody has time for that. But if you wanted to, you could. So they are edible if you wanted to. There's much better pumpkins out there here for pumpkin pie. But most people just display them and they're happy and content with that. I remember one year, 2020, nobody wanted pumpkins that year because the world was shut down. So I stacked 5 of them. I had 5 huge pumpkins all around 1,000 pounds. And I wanted to see how long it would take a deer to eat them. And the deer came in every day, ate that pyramid of pumpkins, and it took them until about the end of February to get it down to nothing. And so I certainly heard a deer that year. All right, our very last pumpkin. Oh, one more question here. What'd you have?
Where do you get the seeds?
Okay, so the seeds, that's very, very important because remember, You go to the seed racks at Walmart, at Home Depot, you go to those seed kiosks, and you look up and you see giant pumpkin. And you're like, oh, I want to grow it. So you grab that seed, go home, and you don't get nothing. Maybe 50 pounds, which maybe for some, 50 pounds is great. But you need the good genetics. And the only way to get the good genetics is to have a grower that you trust that knows how to control the pollination and makes the seeds bigger and better every year. Like I said earlier, if you just let the bees come in and do their thing, the big old bumblebee could have came from this Johnson's patch where she grows the world's smallest pumpkins and then ruin your future pumpkins. They get smaller and smaller. So you want the good seeds. Now where do you get the good seeds? Well, today I think they have a few left up there. We have some seeds for sale for just $10. These seeds come from a controlled pollination of a pumpkin over 1,000 pounds. So you get some of the best seeds. Go home, follow the things I tell you. And I should say right now, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, I give how-to videos on YouTube, Garden of Giants. And I have a Facebook group called Garden of Giants as well. We'll teach you how to grow these giants so that next year you can bring in the big ones and be involved in this extremely fun hobby. And it is a fun one. Almost everybody that gets in it is absolutely obsessed after the first time growing. But if you do want seeds, I think there's some left right up at these merchandise kiosks where all the little pumpkins are. And like I said, $10 gets you the monster genetic seeds. And even if you want to grow them, not bring them to the competition, but just grow something for the porch. A big old porch pumpkin. You know, something that every person that drives by your house is going to be like, hey, grow that. I mean, trust me. You drive down the road with just this, and everybody thinks it's a little bit. I mean, people just don't see the giant pumpkins. All right, Brian, let's get you up here. This is the final pumpkin. Brian, like I said, up from Fisher, Minnesota, up by Grand Forks, right? Second year growing. First year, you got an official weight of 1762. Well, that was last week. Okay. So first year you got nothing, really? 1524 last year. All right, and 1655, and obviously lost that beauty, that almost 2100 pound. This year you have the 1762 in, and before you take that off, I'm gonna just explain what Brian's going for. So remember, GPC, I talked about it right at the beginning, and we're sign behind the scale. The Great Pumpkin Commonwealth. They are the governing body over 120 layouts across the globe. Like I said, from Japan to Belgium to South Africa, all over the United States, 120 of these exact things go on for about a 4-week period every year. And if you bring 3 different pumpkins to 3 different weigh-off competitions, and those 3 pumpkins equal a total of 4,300 pounds or more, you win a jacket. Let me see, is anybody wearing a jacket? Alex is wearing a jacket. You get a jacket. It's much like the Master's jacket, you know, Tiger Woods, except it's the proud growing jacket. So Brian, in just his second year, is in the running for a jacket. He has 1 pumpkin in at 1762, so we're going to add the one for this week, whatever this is, and then next week in Stillwater, coming Saturday, we're going to weigh out a really big one. You think these ones are big? Go to Stillwater next Saturday. You could see some 2,500 pounds or more. In fact, Ryan has one that may top the scales at 1 ton next week. But we'll wait for that, because that's going to be the exciting jacket. Today, what do we want? What do you want? Heavy. All right, he wants heavy. So based on weight, this is going to be roughly 1,590, roughly 1,590 pounds. Now, that will get him first place, first off, in the waiting for today. But if it goes heavier than 1,590, that means they went heavy to chart or had the thick rind. So let's do a countdown from 10. we're gonna do this in style and see what we can get Brian for his second pumpkin of the year. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, what do we got? 17! Congratulations, Brian. Well on his way to getting that jacket. Next week, we will know for sure if he gets it. 1683. Very, very nice. Congratulations, Brian. That's all. So he got 1762 last week. Almost another 1700 pound pumpkin. He is over 3,000 pounds for pumpkins in just 2 weeks. Wait. Great size pumpkin with great room. In just his second year growing these giants. Congratulations, Brian. And we will be doing awards shortly. We'll give awards out, including which pumpkin here will win the prettiest pumpkin award. There's one award given away, and it will be the prettiest one. So whichever one that is to get the Howard Dill Award, which is a very sought after award for getting growing the prettiest pumpkin. We'll do that with all the money awards here in just a little bit. So stay tuned. All right, 2:30. 2:30. So we'll grab some food and drinks.
I don't know. I hope Grandpa enjoyed the water.
Check out the little flea market. And we'll be back here at 2:30 to give away prizes.
Bye.